Here we go. So guys, this is going to be my first video talking about 2K23. And I've wanted to make this video for a while, but I held back because I just wanted to be sure that the messaging was right. And at this point, I'm absolutely sure that the messaging is right. And the message is 2K have put more pressure on themselves to deliver on day one of 2K23 than they ever have before. Here's why. 2K stopped 2K22 2 months early. Now, you know me, guys, my disposition on this game is really positive, you know, and it has been the whole year. My outlook on this game has been positive. I'm personally not so fussed about the kind of end of the game. I'm enjoying the break. I'm playing other things. I'm going to be refreshed for 2K23, but that doesn't change the wider opinion on this. The wider opinion on this has been the most in sync negative reaction to something 2K have done ever. The whole community is kind of sitting here going, why have we stopped 2 months early? I paid for the year. This is a common complaint we're getting. I paid for a year's worth of content and I've only got 9 months, 10 months. Well, the only justification that we've given, and 2K haven't given this justification, the only justification that we've given as a community is they're working on 2K23. Now, if people feel shortchanged, the only way they're not going to feel that way is if 2K can justify the 2-month break at the end of the game. Now, the starting point of all of this is 2K need to agree with us that they stopped making content 2 months early. Or at least the content wasn't desirable for the last 2 months. Now, this is the start of the danger for 2K. If they sit there and go, Season 8 was a massive success, because the truth is, we live under a microscope a little bit, especially when it comes to things like Twitter. There's millions of people that play this game. There are hundreds of people that complain about it on Twitter, but in the wider scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. So 2K could sit there and go, well, you know, there's a few people complaining on Twitter, but no one else has complained, so this has been a massive success. They could sit there, guys, and go, the endgame concept in Season 8 was a success. Now, if they do that, they've got a problem. Worse than that, they could look at Season 9 and go, we absolutely smashed it. It's a great way to end the year. It's really going to come down to how many people are actually playing the game. And I think at the end of the day, the data is going to suggest that this wasn't well received. Although I do think people played Season 8 probably as much as some of the other seasons. So I don't think the data is going to be like a crazy offset to say this was a disaster. So we are in a position where there is a real danger that 2K don't see it as we took the last 2 months off. If they don't see it that way, then they're going to have no expectations going into 2K23. They're going to go, we had a great end to the year. Let's move into the next year and let's carry on where we left off. The truth is, the community does not feel this way. Whether people are vocalizing it onto it or not, there is a general consensus that they took 2 months off. Now, like I said, I have a positive disposition on this game, but even I feel like they took 2 months off. That's the reality. And the big danger 2K have, it's not even a danger anymore, it's a reality. People 2 months ago would have said this was the best 2K ever. For a lot of reasons. The pacing, the new modes, just a bunch of things. The gameplay was more balanced than it's been for a long time. People would have said this is the best 2K ever. 2 months later, people are saying it's now the worst 2K ever. People have gone from one extreme to another because of the last 2 months. Now, what is the problem that this creates? Well, people are angry, but they're tempering their anger because they're going to get to 2K23, and the hope is we look at 2K23 and go, well, that's why they took 2 months off. You know what? This is such a good game. I will take the fact and I will accept the fact the last 2 months weren't great because we've got an incredible game. Now, if 2K don't deliver that, there is going to be a backlash like we have never seen before. It's a reality, guys. 2K have created these expectations. Now, the community have been famed for expecting too much. It's a constant conversation. But you know what? In this instance, that's not an argument that can be made. 2K slow burned, fizzled out the year, and now people are saying 2K23 has to be it. That is an expectation that 2K created by making the decisions they've made over the last 2 months. That isn't just speculation. So what is it that 2K needs to deliver? Well, the first thing is they need to deliver on day one. They cannot do what they did last year with TTO the 100 and release broken, kind of thoughtless game modes that require patching later. And yes, they got to patching it later, which was great. But this year, when they've been given, in most people's minds, 2 months just to get this right, if they release a broken game mode on day one, it's going to be absolute carnage. The second thing that can happen that 2K could do that will create a backlash is to basically just recycle the game. Now, what I mean by recycle the game is bring back Unlimited, bring back Domination, just put everything back in that was like, as it was last year, and basically how it was the year before. If they do that again, people will be sitting there scratching their heads going, so what were they doing for 2 months if we basically ended up getting the same game? And one thing 2K can't do is just rebrand modes. They can't kill the name Unlimited because it has such negative connotations and just re-release the same mode under a different banner. In a lot of ways, this will be worse because people will sit there and go, for 2 months, all they did was come up with a new name. And the final thing that they can do to really annoy people is just focus on gimmicks, because I think that start of 2K22, that's really what they did. We had gimmicks. Hollows were a gimmick. You know, grading cards, that was a gimmick. What they can't do is, like I said, just fluff around the key game modes that they already have, reintroduce them and just chuck a bunch of extra gimmicks on top of it. It's got to be a complete overhaul of the game mode. Now, there's two things that 2K have to achieve, and like I said, they need to be clear on this from day one that these are their objectives. There is 2 key objectives. The first one is they need to get people using their squads online. Unlimited has been dead since 2K20. Now, there is a narrative that 2K20 only boomed because of the pandemic. It wasn't only because of the pandemic. People came into 2K21 still playing the game. They stopped playing the game because Unlimited became toxic, and the entire purpose of the game mode has been out the window for 2 years. People don't want to play Unlimited because of a fear factor. They're scared to play online. They don't like the fact that it's so intimidating to go 53-0 or 53-10 or whatever it involves. They don't like the idea of skill-based matchmaking. A lot of people don't like the idea of win ratios. It scares them. It makes them not want to play the game. 2K have to eliminate this mentality entirely. That's what made 2K20 exciting. It's why we had a content creator boom. Because content creators wanted to play online. The people that watched them wanted to play online. That when we did videos talking about how good a card is, 99% of the community used that card online rather than 99% of the community using it to play TT offline or domination. The whole purpose of the mode has gone out the window. XP is great. Keep it. Change the format, but keep it. You have to get people building squads for a reason. And that reason has to be to take them online and use them without fear. If 2K failed to deliver a 5v5 game mode where we use our entire squad this year and focus exclusively on getting people playing the mode, it doesn't need to be this weird pseudo comp mode that they've created, which just no one enjoys or wants to play. They have to focus on getting everyone playing whatever 5v5 online mode they make, and the simplest way to do that is week-to-week agendas online that gets everyone playing. And the second thing that 2K have to deliver, if they're going to justify this 2-month break, a reminder, guys, the expectations are through the roof. They have to deliver daily, grindable, offline content as well. There is no scenario where 2K will get away with another year of dropping domination and then 6 weeks to 8 weeks later dropping another domination. Just games like this, games like FIFA, who have a very similar template, are just so far and beyond. 2K aren't living in their shadow anymore. They can't even see them anymore. That's how far FIFA are ahead of a game like 2K. And whether they've got developers or whether they haven't got developers, they're charging $150 for the game. It is time to deliver daily content. And when I say daily, I mean daily, grindable, usable, free content every single day. And like I said, they've got to make this clear from day one. They cannot go 6 to 8 weeks without releasing grindable content in the game anymore. It's just not something the community is going to accept, especially after taking 2 months off. So this is the point at the end of the day, guys. 2K have taken 2 months off and they've put pressure on themselves like they never have before. If they didn't take that 2 months off, the expectations wouldn't be where they are. But they really are on the verge of the most spectacular backlash. Unless they deliver purpose to the game mode with online play, a daily fun, engaging content, this is going to be one of the worst starts to a 2K we've ever seen, because the community is coming into it in a really negative headspace. That's the video, guys. Until next time, thanks for watching.